From Premier Lanes Entertainment Center in Gonzales, Crescent City Sports is proud to bring you the LHSAA Bowling Championships. We open 3 days of coverage this afternoon with the girls' state championship match between the Archbishop Chappelle Chipmunks and the Santa Ma Gators. And a pleasant good afternoon to you. Ken Trahan joined by Lenny Van Gilder of Crescent City Sports and longtime bowling columnist and good friend Kent Lowe. We're back for another year of bringing you state championship action, and we're happy to partner with the LHSAA Network this year as well. And we thank the Schneiders and everyone associated with LHSAA Network for their support, along with CrescentCitySports.com. Well, it's been an interesting road to get here, so Lenny, let's start with the brackets and how we ended up in this position with Chappelle and Santa Ma bowling for the state title.
Well, Chappelle, of course, the defending state champion, they have run off 31 consecutive wins going back to a year ago. And, they've really steamrolled through this playoff bracket. St. Joseph's Academy, an outstanding team, maybe the best team out of the Baton Rouge area, had the unfortunate fate of being in the same half of the bracket as Chappelle. They were down 13-3 after 2 games. It was effectively over at that point. St. Joseph's did come back and win 6 of the 8 points in the final match. It was an 18-9 final. The other match between St. Amant and Albany was a much closer match. You see the final score of that one was 21-6, but it was a 30-pin match going into the last game. Now, St. Amant had an 11-5 lead, and then they really put it to Albany in the final game. But you had some outstanding individual performances along the way. A tip of the cap to Ava Doucette of St. Joseph's Academy, who shot 700 in the second round match against Patrick Taylor, who was another outstanding team out of the New Orleans area. Shot 700 again this afternoon against Chappelle, but just too much to overcome against this very, very deep Chipmunk lineup.
Kent Lowe, great to have you with us, and she is moving on because she's got a college bowling career ahead of her, doesn't she?
Right. She'll be going to UAB, joining another former Red Sticker, Jordan Wingirter, who is had bowled there the last couple of years.
Yeah, she's a sophomore, right?
Speaking of sophomores and youth, Santa Ma is a relatively young team here, Kent.
Yeah, that's right. Most of their seniors are reserves. They'll have a senior in Tengler at the top and Hernandez in the 5 spot. But there's a lot of youth on this team. In fact, Kenny, there's a lot of youth on both teams here this afternoon, the championship match.
Which is what I was going to get to next with Lenny Van Gelder. Only one senior for the Chappelle team, their anchor bowler, and obviously this is a very
They
good
lost a couple of key seniors from a year ago in the 5 and 6 spots with Elizabeth Hamilton, who was the MVP of the championship match, and Olivia Barres. But the rest of that team, rest of that lineup all came back, led by the only senior on this team, Alexandria Young, who's the 3rd highest average in the state at 205 this year, one of 3 to average over 200 in the regular season on the girls' side. In fact, we had all 3 of them in the semifinals. Caroline Angeron is number 1, and Ava Doucette number 2.
Let's take a look now at the match format as to how we arrive at a champion, because there are 27 points available, and of course you have to get 14 to win the championship. Lenny, you can go through it for everyone.
It's the magic number. You see the breakdown there and how we get to 27 points. There are 6 bowlers on a team. You're bowling 3 games. That's 18 points in individual matches. You're bowling the person across from you. Number one, 2 versus 2 on down the line. You can substitute at the start of each game. And then, of course, the team totals determine the other 9 points. There are 2 points per game, and then the 3-game total, or the super totals you will hear us say sometimes, is worth 3 points. So there's a lot of ways to get to 14. The easiest way to get there is just to continue to outscore your opponents along the way, because you're going to win those individual matches. So that's what we'll be keeping an eye on all of that as we go throughout the day.
Darren Cagnoletti, the head coach of the Santa Ma Gators, and Dorothy Hembert of Archbishop Chappelle, the defending state champion. And Kent, when you look at the matchup, it's going to take something pretty special from the Gators, because Chappelle has an advantage in terms of average in every spot, and a 98-pin advantage amongst the starters combined.
And that 98 stacks up as a lot when you look at this match on paper. It's going to have to be Chappelle having maybe a little bit of an off day and the Gators having a tremendous day. Bowling in this bay is a little different than bowling in the main 20-lane parts of the center. There's a little more back end for the 4, 5, and 6 bowlers, and it is a little bit slicker in the front part of the lanes. That is not used as often back here on these 4 tournament lanes, but it can produce and has produced some very good scores.
Let's take a look at the starting lineups. First of all, for Santa Ma, in the 1 spot, we go 1 through 6, 6 being the highest average bowler. Jesse Tangler, a senior, in the 1 spot, with Caden Mumphrey, a junior, in the 2 slot. It's Juliana Villanez in the 3rd spot, a junior. Addison Kirby, a sophomore, bowls 4th. It's Brooke Hernandez, a senior, bowling 5th. And Ava James is the anchor in the 6th spot. For Archbishop Chappelle, an 8th grader, Bryn Kerr, good story there, is in the 1 spot. Also at number 2, Michaela Lanier is there. She is a freshman. Carolyn Hill, a sophomore, in the 3 spot. Tilda Bordenay, a junior, is in the number 4 hole. Then you got Addison Bell in the 5 spot, and Alexandra Young Malone Sr. is in the 6 spot for Chappelle. We're just about to get started, and mentioned Bryn Kerr. She's an 8th grader, and good story there, Lenny, because she's got an older brother that's pretty good too.
Yeah, who's going to have a chance to perhaps bowl for a state championship as well tomorrow, as Bryn will start things off on lane 24 as we get underway here. A strike for Santa Ma.
Tangler strikes to get things started. And right away, there's Bryn Kerr with an answer for Chappelle. That's the way to start, Ken.
There you go.
Everybody's perfect at this point. Here's another strike. Now look at this. And, a 4-pin, 2-pin. Well, there goes your perfect game.
There goes the post-game show, right?
Hey, when that happens. So match play, that's what makes this so exciting. It was a good shot in the 10-pin on a very well-stroked ball by Caden Mumphrey.
Kenny, remember the last several years in this, a lot of things have been decided in these matches in the 1, 2, 3 spots. The lower averages, that's sometimes where the difference in the games happen.
Very much so. Chappelle has started with 4 consecutive strikes here. Really good start for the Chipmunks, as all 4 of their bowlers, Kerr, Lear, Hill, and Bourdonnais, have struck to this point. And now make it 5. And looking for a 6, but not going to have it. So, it's not bad. 5 out of 6 strikes, Lenny, to get things started. Lower average bowlers on the left-hand lanes. And Chappelle at number 3 marks. So that's Caroline Hill. So they've filled the boxes, so to speak, for the first 6 bowlers for their first frame. Open frame for Salma in the 5 spot. And I think, Kent, it's extremely important for the Gators to get off to a good start and to stay with Chappelle early.
Yes, no doubt, no doubt. They need to try to keep this first game, if they can't get 4-4, something like a 5-3, no worse than 6-2, to have any chance here, because Chappelle gets rolling. You know what they did last year here? They were setting state records.
Yep.
Awesome team, despite graduating a couple of really good bowlers.
Yeah.
That's an outstanding strike.
Yeah, what's interesting
for the Gators in the number 4 spot, well stroked there by Addison Kirby.
Yeah. You mentioned records there, Kent. Chappelle has every state record in the records that are maintained by the U.S. High School Bowling Foundation for Louisiana. The individual 1, 2, and 3 game records, the team 1, 2, and 3 game records. They have them all.
Very impressive, to say the least. Tough spare coming for Kerr at 23. Mini washout. A couple of ways to make that, but a difficult one shot nonetheless. Chappelle at number 4 has doubled out of the box. Well done by Bourdonnais. Kerr unable to convert, and Sanamon unable to convert on washout as well. Splits and washouts, the scourge of all bowlers.
Yes, I know.
Or maybe I should say 10 pins for you, man. I don't know, based on our conversation.
Little of everything for me.
You can try a 10-pound ball. Maybe that'll work for you, man. It's all good. There's a wall shot. Well stroked there for Chappelle. In the 5 spot, that's Addison Bell. And a backup ball here. And that's what we'll see from Chappelle's second bowler. She's done a good job. Michaela Lanier.
Everybody has their own way of getting the ball to the line. That's the beauty of this sport. You could be one-handed, you could be two-handed, you could throw it, ordinary, you could throw a backup ball. There's a lot of different ways to do it as long as you knock down the pins.
Not too bad for Chappelle on the high pair, Lenny, to get things started.
Yeah, 6 in a row, 3 doubles for Bourdonnais, Bell, and Young. And again, look, you can't disqualify experience when you get in this setting. I know talking to Darren Cagnolotti between matches, the St. Amant coach, there were a little bit of nerves with his girls, and that they didn't bowl as well as they would normally do in the first match against Albany. But feels like maybe they got that out of their system.
Well, as I mentioned earlier to Ken, if they can start off well, gain some confidence early, it's going to make all the difference in the world. Really good shot there for Chappelle in the third spot. Flush the 1-3 pocket, Caroline Hill, sophomore. Good spare. And St. Amant takes the lead at number 4. Early on in this match, when you get to the 5th frame, you start really talking about margins. That's Addison Kirby, and now Bell has tripled to get things started for Chappelle. Very impressive. 3 in a row. A washout on 23 and a split on 25. Tough stuff. Really nice stroke by Kerr. She's only an 8th grader. She's got a ways going. There's a triple for Alexandra Young, the senior for Chappelle. So Chappelle has triples in 2 spots on the high pair with their highest average bowlers.
Yeah, and Bell had a 6-16 in that semifinal set earlier, and Young did not have some of her better games, but had a 202 to finish up the semifinals for Chappelle.
In fact, if you looked at what Bell was able to do her first 2 games, she had 246, 213. She was at 459. Going to her third game, when they really kind of took the foot off the gas, they made a couple of substitutions and didn't really keep the pressure on per se. So they had a very comfortable margin over St. Joseph's at the time. Broke up the split, fortunately, for St. Amant. And now on 23, high in the 2 slot for Caden Mumphrey. So we're going to watch Kerr try to shoot cross lane here. She's only an 8th grader, and she's diminutive. So it's all about accuracy, because you can't project speed here shooting cross lane at the 10 pin. She goes at it backup fashion, and that is impressive.
Why not?
That's impressive for an 8th grader to be able to have that skill to do that. Yeah. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and look, she's been at this game for a while now. She's not just somebody who started bowling a year ago or something. We see in this time and place, we see young men, young ladies take up this sport and excel very quickly at it. But she's been at it for a while. She's not your normal 8th grader.
And now we'll come up with the 2 bowlers on their first 3 strikes as Bell steps up.
Gave it room. Well stroked. Well stroked.
It's going to come back on these lanes. The topography is such that the ball will come back on these lanes.
And that's her game. And you could say in similar fashion for Alexandra Young, who will step to the lane looking for 4 in a row herself. Nice spare for Chappelle at number 2 and Michaela Lanier. On lane 24, left of your screen. Tugged that a little bit. Yep, you see right away. Out of her hand. Unfortunately, a big 4 on the lane 26 for St. Amant in the 5 spot. Brooke Hernandez.
Hurry up.
Tough spare here. All with the ball.
Nicely covered.
All with the ball.
And Archbishop Chappelle's up almost 100 on the high pair, 4 frames in.
And a split here for Chappelle, for Kerr. That's the smart thing to do with the big 4. Take 2. Don't ever give away pin count. It's important. And a good spear for Hill. Well, like I said, when we get to the fifth frame, we'll set the stage for you in terms of margins and where we're at. That's when you really start looking at it. It's really too early to project unless somebody just gets out of the box like crazy. Here's a beautiful strike for the anchor for Sanama. Well stroked by Ava James. She's the highest average bowler for the Gators. At the seventh, a good shot nonetheless. Bourdonnais for a double. Got 4 strikes out of her 5 frames. Very accurate player. Spears will win.
Yep. And now Bell steps up on the far lane with a chance for 5 in a row.
On lane 26, strokes it, gave it a lot of room, and it hooked too much. Turned it over a little bit early, even though she gave it room. Got a little bit on top of the ball. He's a very makeable 6-pin.
Similar to what we saw in the opening, the semifinal match against St. Joseph's. The start that we saw from the right side.
There's a break, a tickle, and a wiggle, as I like to say, for Caroline Hill. Tripped the bucket, more or less, to pick up a strike. Good stroke and a very bad break, a 7-10 on a really good shot. It's just bad luck, that's all you can say for Sanama on the 2 spot from Humphrey. And Bell makes the spare. Chappelle's, what really separates Chappelle is the ability to shoot spares. They just do such a good job in that regard.
And how many times over the years have we talked about spare shooting in these championship matches?
Ten-pin, not a bad shot there. And through the nose for a second consecutive time. Might have to make a little bit of adjustment. Young on lane 26. And another washout. And there's your spare conversion, as we talked about, cross lane. Very good spare shooting team. And then a missed spare on the counterpart. Brooklyn there, another count. Not exactly what she was trying to accomplish, but it works. Keep the ball in play. Good things can happen. Oh! Nice cover.
Nice pickup.
Very well done for the Gators by Julianne Villamaz, the junior. Nice shot, left a solid 10-pin. Good execution by Bourdonnais, didn't get the carry. Cross lane for the 10-pin. Flattens it, but pulled it. You can tell right away.
Let's see if the 5 bowler for Sanama Hernandez can get things going here. She's made a ball change.
And made a perfect shot and left the 10-pin.
That was a much better shot there.
Yeah, not much to adjust off of that. There's Spears for Chappelle. Again, they shoot spears very well. You're starting to see the ball react for the 2 primary players for Chappelle. They're 2 best bowlers at 5 and 6. Both of them have gone high now in 4 straight shots, so we might see a little bit of transition already occurring.
That's exactly right, and as we say, the back ends on these lanes are very clean. Not much carry down, not as much bowling, so they're going to react a lot quicker in these conditions. And you'll see that especially tomorrow more in the boys match.
There's a beautiful spear covering a split by Sanama's Caroline Hill. Juliana Villamaz. Villamaz converts and Again, Chappelle shooting spares extremely well. Sound like a broken record, but it's accurate. All right, so we arrive at the 5th frame, and one pair is on the 6th, so we take a look at it now. Chappelle has the lead in all 3 matches on the high pair. As we speak, on the low pair, Chappelle is up in 2 out of 3. Good Hill with a double. Lincoln's her lead.
Yeah, the total pins are about a wash on the left-hand pair. It's a big edge right now of maybe 150 pins on the right pair. So, of course, you're bowling a 10-frame match, but if it ended right now, it would be 7-1 Chappelle with a big edge in total pins. And we mentioned how those pins work. You get yourself positioned to get those 3 total pins. You know, it doesn't take much more to win.
Perfect execution by Brent Kerr for a strike. Another strike for Chappelle for Taylor Bourdonnais. And a strike for Santamar. Needed. In the 4th spot for the Gators, Kirby comes through. And these are 2 young teams. There's your adjustment. Moved her feet like about a quarter too left. You can see where she lined up. Suspended the reaction. That's well done. And a beautiful strike opposite her for Santamar in the 5 spot for Hernandez. There's a missed spare. I put the mouth on, right? That's the one match that Santamar's up in right now in the 2 spot. And there's the adjustment for Young. So one watches the other, Kent. And typically speaking, the first move you make is with your feet, correct?
Yes. A border two, maybe you look at a different spot down the lane, but yes, feet movement is usually what a lot of these people will make the adjustment first.
And Lenny, when it comes to adjustments, it's easier to relocate your feet than it is to change speed. Changing speed can affect your stroke. That's a harder thing to do. Definitely more difficult. So we've seen the location adjustment with the feet as opposed to a speed adjustment thus far. It's paid off for Chappelle's top 2 bowls. Oh, beautiful strike. Santamar starting to bowl well now on the high pair, which has to happen. That's Addison Kirby with the double. And another strike for Santamar here. So that's another strike and another double. So well done for the Gators.
And look, this is a St. Amant program that's been in semifinals before. It's the first time their girls have been in a state championship match. So it's, you can expect some nerves coming over here. Even though it's your home center, you probably don't get over to this side very often unless you're invited to a party of some kind.
There's another good spare for Chappelle. As I mentioned, just so good at executing. You know they've worked on that, Kent. I mean, that's clearly a focus to be able to shoot spares as well as they do.
Well, knowing Coach Himbert and that family like I do, spare practice is a key to their bowling practices.
Now Bell looking for another double. Tough leave on a wall shot shaker. You don't figure to see the 8-pin, but it's a different leave for sure with that hit.
That's not a Randy Peterson 8-pin by any means. That's a wall shot 8.
There's a double for Santamar. And another strike for Santamar. So 2 straight doubles for Santamar. They're not
settling
bowling
in.
badly. No, it's just that Chappelle's bowled well. That's basically the story at this point. Bell with a conversion. That's going to miss everything. So that match tightens up a little bit. But still a lead. Chappelle leading in 5 out of 6 matches right now. So we get deeper into the match. If that would be the case, this would be a 7-1 game. But there's a ways to go. Oh my goodness, Stone 8-pin. So we've seen 2 hits that Chappelle lost. They just lost 2 hits that you just don't see very much. And then another bad break. A 1-2 pocket hit results in a 5-10 split, so things not going as well for the Chipmunks at the moment.
I just watched the replay on the 8-pin. The ball went by, the 5-pin went straight back and didn't take out the 8-pin on that last shot.
Cannot make a better shot. It's one of the only sports where you can do the perfect thing and not get the perfect result.
Yep.
Santa Ma bowling well now, and they have to keep the foot on the pedal. And a 7 count on the double. Trying to stay in that match at the 4 spot. And in the match, well, has not won that match yet by any stretch. They need marks here. Here's a spare attempt. They got it. And a gutter ball here for Chappelle on 23, so that match not over yet either. Tough split here on the 7-10. Again.
That was a pocket delivery 7-10 as well.
Yeah, Chappelle's had a lot of bad breaks in the last 2 frames, which have tightened things up a little bit.
Very nearly turned that into a spare.
Yeah. Another strike for Santa Ma. Again, the Gators bowling better as this game progresses. And there's another strike for Santa Ma. And that tightens that match. That's only a 10-pin match now at number 1, so that's one to watch for the Gators to try to stay close here. Oh, a beautiful strike for Young. And a nice bounce back after that tough 5-10. A strike for Chappelle by Lanier. Now on a triple here on lane 24, looking for 4, and a little high. On that delivery was Mumphrey. Now Hill coming off of that tough 7-10. Makes another good shot, leaves the 7-pin. Chappelle not carrying like he did earlier in the game. Nice spare.
Well, the high side goes to the 10th, and Bell and Young both have a chance at 240 games.
Well, the ones to watch now, the match at number 1 is one to watch.
Number 4 is tight as well.
Has a chance to win. Number 4 is tight. 10-pin match at 4, 10-pin match at 1. Those are the ones to watch as we speak. Oh my goodness, there's a 9-pin.
Wow.
And Chappelle's leaving some pretty strange hits with some really good shots. And Santa Ma has just tied at number 1 with a double. So there's the match to watch now. That match is dead even at number 1. Santa Ma could go from a 7-1 to 5-3 if everything falls right.
Yeah, well, Chappelle was taking care of number 4. That was an unfortunate 5-7 split.
Yeah, it was.
At number 4 for Kirby.
So at best 6-2 now.
Right.
Right. Cross lane for the 7-pin here. And gave it too much room. Nice strike in a 188 game. There's a call for Bourdonnais. 166.
188
for Kirby.
Bourdonnais. Nice.
Yep.
Nice opening game. 8 pins over our average.
Yep. Now Bell on a strike. Oh my, almost left the 7-10 in the pocket. It's a big shot here for Chappelle, and that is a 9 count. So needs to make that spare to stay even. Does care. And Care takes care of this spare. So that's a dead even match going to the 10th at number 1. And there's the good spare shooting for Chappelle. Bell cross lane for the 10th pin.
Strike out for 228.
So either a 6-2 or a 7-1 advantage here after game 1 for Chappelle. Nice effort at the washout. Just didn't get the break. Lanier looking for a double.
It's a bad
Another
break right
strange
there.
They've had a lot of bad breaks.
Yeah.
With 1-3 and 1-2 pocket hits, and otherwise this would be a lot more demonstrative in the margin. 2:26 game for Bell.
So you're looking at potentially, depending on how Bell finishes, or how Young finishes up here, Chappelle could have a 200-pin edge on the right side with 3 wins.
Right. Here's Young. Perfect. She'll be in the 230s, if not the 240s. Hard to beat that, Kent.
Yeah.
Hill sends it wide and rips it. Just ripped it. What a shot. That's a big 7 count there. That could decide the match at number 1. Pin count, 7 count. So she's 3 down. As a result, and has a very tough spare. Kerr does as well.
You got double wood to contend with.
Oh, wow. Now here's a big shot at number 1. Watch the pin count here. Watch the pin count. Oh, my goodness. 6 count. So look at the pins now. That's a 1-pin match. But need a conversion.
Right. Even if she converts the washout, it's still Chappelle by 1. A chance to close out right here.
With a strike. Didn't happen, but a 9 count. So the worst you can do is tie, right?
Right. Correct.
143.
Yeah.
Kerr.
Even with a conversion and a strike, Tangler can only shoot 143. That would be a tie.
Correct. And sent it wide. Not going to get there. So Chappelle's going to win 5 of 6 matches here to take a 7-1 lead. The question is, what's the margin going to be?
By the way, Young finishes with 230.
They shoot 644 on the high pair, do the Chipmunks. Tough stuff. Very impressive.
Yeah, they're going to be well over 1,100 in this opening game.
Well, here's the bright spot for Sandoval right here. At the number 2 spot, Caden Mumphrey is bowling a whale of a game. She's going to shoot a 200 game. And she's a 146 average bowler.
Yeah. And she had a 202 in the last game in the semifinals.
Right, and she's single-handedly kept the low pair very close here. She's got with a slight edge. Lanier to fill the box here. Finishes with 7 and a 131 game. Another good shot. Too bad. Left the 7 pin. But she's going to be in the 200s. Guaranteed now. That's a whale of a game for Caden Mumphrey. Now Hill. Speaking of good games. Blows the rack. It's going to be very hard to beat this team the way they're bowling. But that's not really a surprise.
You've got to be at your best, and they've got to be a little bit less than their best.
Yeah. And there's a 201 from Mumphrey. Great game for Caden. Now Hill already in the 2 teams looking for more. Sends it. And look at the ring. Oh, the 10-pin went. It wobbled and finally went for a triple. So Chappelle will win 5 of 6 to take a 7-1 lead. The margin grows larger with this triple by Hill. Won the high pair by 189 pins. Going to win the low pair. Good 9 count with 215 there, right? Wow. 225, I should say. 225, my bad. For Hill, 225. So 29 pins on the low pair, 89 on the high pair. So that, by my math, that's 218, Lenny.
189 and 29. Well, it'll be. This will be 9 here. This will be 9 with the fill shot.
Right, she's still another shot. My bad. So there you go. 211, I believe. We'll check it out.
So that is
22 and 189, 211.
Yeah.
211 is the margin, 7-1 Chappelle.
So Sports Center is on right there. And
211
that's going to get us in.
is the number. So there we have it. A 7-1 lead for the Chipmunks and 7-1 and 211 pins total for Chappelle in game one. Very impressive when you look at what they were able to do with these games that they bowled. 225, 226, 230, you name it. They've done it on a consistent basis there. It's been pretty
1143 is the team total.
Yeah, very much so. So outstanding performance. Today's coverage on Crescent City Sports is brought to you by Oxner Andrews Sports Medicine Institute, treating more than 30,000 athletes a year with innovative treatments for sports injuries. Visit oxner.org/sportsmed to learn more. Thanks to Oxner for their support of high school sports on CrescentCitySports.com. We are grateful. Teams gathering, Santa Monica gathering around its coaches. It's more of an encouragement talk here, Kent. I mean, look, they knew coming in that they were clear underdogs and they were going to have to perform at their very best. They didn't perform badly, and number 2 bowled great, but Chappelle just bowled too well.
Yeah, there are not a lot of holes in this Chappelle lineup when you look at it on paper and then watching him bowl that first match. Wow. That was pretty impressive.
What, 11:43 for game one? That's
11:43 to 9:32.
But you can do the math with 11:43 when you extrapolate that over 6 bowlers. It kind of tells you how good Chappelle bowled in that game. It's hard to beat a team when they're averaging 190.5 per bowler. Game 2 begins. Bordenay flushes to open on lane 25 for Chappelle. Then Kerr converts. Sent that one way wide and throws a washout. And a nice shot for Sandoval. Out of the box at number 5, that's Rick Hernandez. Need her to get going. She had a off first game, better bowler than that. Showed you that just now with that shot. Lanier on 23. Not so much a fast 8, maybe a slow 8. But a good shot. 7-pin, good shot. And another strike for Santa Monica. At number 3, good start for the Gators. Villamez strikes. Bell with an open frame.
Is that her first open, I believe?
Could be.
Believe so.
Could be. There's a missed spare. We don't see that much from Chappelle.
I don't believe either of the 5 or 6 bowlers opened in the first game for Chappelle.
Selma off to a better start here. Remember, Chappelle started the first game like a house of fire and never really let up. And there's a wall shot, tripped the bucket, no less. For Young. Hill leaves a 10-pin, good shot. Again, adjustments matter. We'll see as the lanes transition, and you can see a little bit of change already taking place. Hill will go cross lane for the 10-pin on lane 23. No problem. And then
That's about how excited I get when I pick up a 10-pin.
there's a fortuitous strike for Santa Monica for Jesse Tengler, the senior. And a really nice cover on a bucket. That's tough spare to make. And that's extremely well done for the Gators in the 3rd spot for Villamez. Solid 10-pin, good stroke. Another good shot. I like what the Gators are doing early on here. There's a double in the 5 spot for Hernandez.
That's huge for her. I mean, she had so much trouble, seemed to pick up her game after the ball change about mid-game, but still struggled in that first game. So good to see her back on track.
The Gators out of the box in good shape here in game 2. Looking for another double here. And got it. That's 5 strikes on a 6 bowlers for Sanamon on the high pair to start game 2.
Again, they're settling down. You just wonder if they've dug themselves too big of a hole.
Well, it's still early. I mean, you've got 2 games to bowl. Total pins, it's a big hole for sure. But net matches can get you back in it. Spare for Bell. Now Lanier after an open frame. Best shot she's made.
Talk about the right-handed backup ball there. Very good form on that. It's not something you see that often, but I mean, she's really locked into that.
Young doubles for the Chipmunks. Off of a 2:30 game. Beautiful spare conversion on a split here for Sanamon by Mumford. And a strike for Hill. And there's a strike. She turned her head. Didn't think she threw it well, but got the Brooklyn shaker. Turn your head more often, it might work. And another strike. The Gators coming out with a bite here in game 2. Miss spare. Kara with the conversion. She's made 3 spares. And another strike for Sanamon. That's a triple out of the box for Hernandez. What a difference a game makes.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Coach Cagneylotti was over there behind her a few frames, getting her lined up a little bit better, and she has really stepped it up this game, and a chance for their 6th bowler to also open with a turkey.
Correct. David James, freshman. Release, good release. 4-pin, good shot. Didn't carry. And now her counterpart, Young, has started with a double, and she'll be up on lane 25, looking to make it 3 in a row. Got it out over the line in good shape. Oh my goodness. Another smashed 8-pin.
Solid 8.
Puts her hand to her face. Yeah, you're right. What can you do? There is no adjustment for that. None.
Good cover by James on her spare, so 2 strikes and a spare, and that bottom match can be even with the spare conversion on the 8.
No problem. Yeah, so early on, Gators competing much better here in game 2. Hill on lane 23. And gets a shake of the 10-pin, but it won't go.
Yeah.
And now her counterpart for a double. Good shot. And the same result. 10-pin. Tit for tat. 10 for 10.
There you go.
And missed it.
We got a lot of alumni here. We got a lot of parents here, a lot of athletic administration here. But I will tell you, maybe the biggest fan watching here, who has worked with a lot of these girls for years and years and years for Chappelle, is sitting off to our right. Miss Betty Chen just celebrated a birthday on Sunday.
Saw that?
Yeah. Loves to talk about her boys and her girls who she works with, and there's a lot of them. Probably every one of these teams and these individuals you see out in the world, and she's probably worked with at some point in her career, and probably still does.
Miss spare for Chappelle. Just missed the 10 pin. That one comes up a bit high, so that's gets her off the triple. We'll look to spare it up. Hernandez off to the very good start here in game 2.
It's like Taylor Bourdonnais contemplating a ball change after that last frame.
There's a rip 10 pin here. Another really good shot. But no carry for Bell. Hernandez with a nice cover. Sounded like a split, and it was.
Yeah.
Just by the sound.
410, it really drove hard at the end high. Lenny, you were speaking about Mitty Chen, and I know talking to a lot of these bowlers, how much they respect her as much as she respects them. But I mean, the bowlers really do love her.
I tell you, one of the unique things that happens in New Orleans is on Friday afternoons at Bolero's. There's another strike there, and I've been very impressed with the freshman Ava James thus far for Sanama. But you've got, you know, and Alex Young answers with a strike. That's an even match right now at 6. All of these bowlers from all of these schools, nobody's affiliated with a team at that point. Everybody's just coming together and working on their games. And it's a practice session for a couple hours. Everybody comes over and sees Miss Betty for a couple of minutes and maybe tries to fine-tune some things. She's, you know, it's an extraordinary opportunity to witness some of the best youth bowlers in the New Orleans area from all over, not just, you know, Kenner or not just this school. It's from all of these teams and from all over the metro area.
Good conversion of the 10 pin there. And today's coverage on Crescent City Sports is brought to you by the Greater New Orleans USBC, serving men, women, and youth bowlers in the New Orleans area. Check their website at gnousbc.org or their Facebook page for the latest information. Come out, support your local association, and have fun doing it.
Yeah, we thank the Greater New Orleans USBC, Ken. They've been a supporter of what we've done here to try to elevate the sport of bowling on Crescent City Sports for a long, long time, and appreciate their continued support.
Shot by Hill. Both 5 bowlers have tough conversions, Hernandez and Bell. On lanes 25-26, Bell first up. Missed a head pin on the first shot, going cross lane. Look out, pulled that way too much. So she's struggling a bit. She's kind of lost her line here watching this game. She's not really been able to hit the pocket. Her counterpart, Hernandez, ain't unable to convert a tough spear as well. But that's what Sanama needs. They need to raise their level and need Chappelle to lower their level. We're seeing a little bit of that early on this game. Look at this shot. Young should have 5 in a row. She got destroyed on a stone 8 pin. Now she gets destroyed on a stone 7 pin. When I say stone, that means dead, solid, perfect.
Look, Alex Young was in the 4 spot a year ago. She took over in the 6 spot after we mentioned Olivia Barras and Elizabeth Hamilton graduated. But she has really elevated her game at the same time, as fortunately misses the 7 pin right there. But
which is going to put her behind in the match.
Yeah.
So we're going to give you the match look here in the 5th frame here momentarily. With there on the right pair, not quite there on the left pair yet. Her counterpart does spear, so gives her the lead in that match. So Sanama's up in 2 out of 3 on the high pair as we speak. And it's 1-1-1 on the low pair right now. 1 even, 1 lead, and 1 tie.
So it's what, 3-2-1 at the moment. And look, that's what Sanama wants to get this thing to a 3rd game. There's not a lot of times Chappelle has faced matches this year, faced any kind of pressure in the 3rd game at all. Correct. They have been dominant all year long.
What you're seeing is Chappelle's high pair not bowling quite as good because the lanes have transitioned. Right. Ball's hooking more, and they're struggling in the 1 and 2 spots, which they didn't do in the first game. I mean, not bowling terribly, but they were pounding the pocket in the first game consistently.
Yeah. You see the score 7-1, Ken. In reality, Sanama needs to get this to a 10-6 match going to the last game, because then you can win without winning total pins. And obviously there's a lot of ground to overcome there. That's what you want to be able. You want to put yourself in that position. You don't want to give, Chappelle a chance with a big lead in total pins to just have to close out total to win the match.
Nice shot by Hill. Bell makes an adjustment. He finds the pocket again. First time we've seen that. And a nice spare here for Sandoval. Cover the 10-pin cross lane to have a huge lead in the number 2 spot. For the Gators, in Mumphrey. Willamez. Set to go up.
Been a tough go here for Tengler. She's going to get some words of encouragement from Coach Cagnolati.
Right, it's a good time for them. And a spare, which should give her the edge now at 5 after an open frame by 2 pins. Tengler with a 6 count. Got to try to lift her spirits, and that's what her coach was doing there. It's a team sport. You've got to keep grinding regardless. Another good shot and another 10-pin. Shaker 7. Good shot. Another look at the 10-pin. She's had a lot of them here. And she's getting good at it, too. Remember, she missed one early on, but she's made the last 3 she shot. Bourdonnais. Once you make one, it gives you the confidence to know. And oftentimes, it is a mental thing with cross-lane spares. From experience, there's a 4-pin. Unfortunately, Sandoval slowing down now in terms of productivity. They can't really afford to do that. As Lenny said, they've got to be able to make up some ground here in this game to have a real chance.
As you look right now, they got the lead in total pins at the moment.
Momentarily, yeah, that's right. Not by much, but they do.
So if you win 3 of the 6 matches and win total, you've got it back to 10-6.
That's right. Shot there and a 4-pin. Care. Now Young with a 2-pin lead. With a 9 count. Oh, never mind. How about a 10 count?
Messenger.
Whatever it takes.
If you're good and you're lucky, that's a lethal combination.
Thank you very much.
And that certainly is the case. Cross lane for the 10-pin. Got it. This is a crucial spot in the game for Sandoval. They have to hang tough right now.
Hernandez and the coaches talking about another ball change for
and Lanier strikes.
Sandoval's number 5 bowler.
Again, who can make the adjustments and make them in timely fashion? Nice spare. Now Hill. Good shot, 4-pin. Well, she's made every shot in the pocket.
Hill has been solid in that 3 spot.
I mean, all 6 of her shots have been 1-3 pocket.
Yeah, one of the things we really haven't talked about enough today is depth. Yeah, I visited with Steve Schneider on a show on the LHSA Network last week, and we're talking about just how bowling works. And I said, if I got to compare it to another LHSA sport, it's cross country. You can have the best bowler in the state, okay? But if you don't have 5 other bowlers with you to carry the rest of the lineup, you've got to have that depth in there for 6 bowlers to be able to put themselves in position to win matches, and that's where, Chappelle has excelled all year long, last year and this year.
Well, I talked about shooting spares, so here's the perfect example of a team performance. Look at what Kerr has done in the one spot for Chappelle.
Right. 6 spares and 1 split. There are no strikes yet, but yet she's working on a 180. She's got a 48-pin lead.
Because she's made every spare she's had. Only open frame a split. Speaking of splits, been a much tougher game for Chappelle in the 5 spot. For Bell, she's struggling in this game, and she's down by 23 pins. And who can make the adjustment there, as I mentioned earlier?
This is a big shot coming up on lane 26 right now for Alex Young, a chance to take a 23-pin lead.
Right, with a strike up, it is a big shot. Sent it wide and punished it and left the 10-pin. Bell not carrying anywhere near as well as it did earlier. Been a lot of hits that they're not getting this game. Here's Hill, who's made nothing but good shots in this game. Makes another good shot, blows the rack.
I love her enthusiasm, guys. I mean, just such refreshing enthusiasm.
And a missed spare here has changed the match at number 6 now. That's a 1-pin match. So Sanama is clearly in this game. Chappelle has come back to the pack a bit this game, which is what Sanama needed.
You talk about spare shooting. Look what's happening at number 4. Taylor Bourdonnais staying in position to win this point at 4. She had a strike in the first frame, hasn't struck 6 because she's made 7 of 8 spares
7 of 8
since.
spares, that's right. Spares are so important.
Single pins.
Bell sends that way wide. That'll never get back. She's lost it. She's lost really touch with the pocket here against it. There's a terrible break. 8-10. Hate seeing that. Look at this washout. Look at this shot. Well, got 3 of them. That's pretty difficult.
I didn't see the 8 back there with all of that.
There's a mess. Total mess, huh?
Again, Kerr doesn't strike, but again, she's leaving herself makeable spares.
Keeps the ball in play. It's a good spare on the washout. Well, when you're struggling, you got to make spares, and that's what Bell does here. But still well down in her match. Backup ball for the spare for Kerr. I'm so impressed that she can do that for an 8th grader.
It's how she shoots the spares on the right side.
Yeah.
I know it can be a challenge for 2-handers, especially, they hook it a little bit more perhaps, or, more rotations. It's hard to straighten it out. That's the way to accomplish it.
Well, Hernandez is going to win it, too. She's having a good game. And there's a tough shot there, a very difficult shot, and that puts pressure on Chappelle at number 6 now with a very difficult spare to try to keep the lead in that match. And there's a double for Lanier. Not a double, pardon me. A strike. She had struck on that lane previously.
Perfect crossover into the pocket with the backup ball.
All right, so this is a must conversion here for Young, and doesn't get it. So now Sanama can take the lead at number 6. Swing that match in the 9th frame. And look at this bad break for Hill. She's made nothing but good shots, and does not have the results. Leaves the 5-7 here. Another 1-3 pocket in. So Sanama has a shot here in at least 4 matches. Exactly what they need to have any chance here. Trying to make this spare, and
Oh!
I thought she was going to get there. I thought that ball was going to get there. It did not. So we go to the 9th frame. Chappelle is up. Sanama's up in 2 out of 3 on the high pair. And Chappelle is up in 2 out of 3 on the low pair. So it'd be an even Steven in terms of the matches right now. Kerr's way wide. That's a washout. That's going to be very difficult. And another 10-pin the other way, which has been the case this game. A lot of 10-pins for Chappelle. Good shot, 4-pin. So pins are going to be close here, looking at this one. And an 8 out. Cross lane for the 10-pin again. Well, she's made like 5 in a row. So No problem with the 10-pin for Bourdonnais. She continues to shoot that very well. Again, these pins matter. This is pretty close. Pretty close in terms of total pins here. It really is. And a good shot there on the fill ball. So 173 is the score for Bourdonnais in game 2 after a 188 first game. She'll win her match. Perfect strike here. A nice fill ball. That's a 142 game for Santa Mon and Kirby. Lanier unable to convert. So Santa Mon is going to win at 5. Going to win at 2. And ahead at 3 right now. Ahead at 6, I should say. Pardon me.
Even with that open, that's still a likely win at 2 because of the open for Chappelle.
There's a big pin shot there for Santa Mon, total pins. I could put them over the top in terms of winning total pins this game. There's another 10 pin. This girl's hit the pocket every frame, and she's got nothing to show for it. Left a 5-7 last frame. Hills had the toughest luck game by far of anybody.
Yeah, right now
for a 4-bagger, Hernandez. And, ooh, shaker 7.
Tell you what, a great ball change for her. She turkey 7-pin.
And Hill just missed a spare, which puts that match in play at number 3. Santa Mon could win this game. Bell with a 151 game. And Hernandez unable to convert, but still shoots 197. What a difference.
Yeah.
Big improvement over game 1. And gets a point for her team.
Here's Young, and an important shot for her. Strikes. Strike for Kerr. That's an important strike for Young. She needs a double to have a chance to win that match at number 6. Of course, James can have something to say about that right here on lane 25. Sent it wide, coming back. Bucket, tough leave. So that leaves her up by 5 pins.
This is for a win for Young.
This is for a win. Oh, my. Ripped a 10-pin.
Wow.
And now James needs a spare. If she spares, she wins.
And Phil's going to have to fill 6 on the...
Yeah, you would ostensibly
but this is a tough spare, the bucket.
Cross lane, gave it room, and can't make it.
No 8-pin.
Tough stuff. So a tough loss there at number 6. As Young had a good 10 frames. He struck and then threw a great shot. 174 for Young. 168 game for James. 163 for Kerr.
Yeah, Chappelle wins 2 of the 3 matches on the right pair, but Santa Mon had a 9-pin edge in total.
Correct. So. This is wide. That'll cost pins. Now Lanier, see if she can find a mark in the 10th frame. Answer is no.
Yep.
So it's been a rough game for her. Santa Mon wins at 2. Good shot. Strikes. Well, she could strike again. She'll force a mark. So that's a big shot at number 3. Lanier shoots 127.
So as it stands now, Chappelle is going to win total.
Here's a big shot right here, and what? Okay, go ahead, Lenny.
Yeah, Chappelle's going to win total, and they're going to win what it appears to be 4 out of 6.
Right.
So that's going to make this a 13-3 match going into the last game.
Virtually unbeatable. This might be the best 160 game anybody's bowled. She's hit the pocket every frame.
No doubt.
And she's got a 140 in the 9th frame. You have to talk about Hill, and you can't, again, that's all you can do is make good shots and then hope you make spares, right? The only non-9 count. All the 9 counts were in the pocket. The 8 count was a 5-7 in the pocket. Got to believe it'll be in the pocket, right? Nope. See that? I put the mouth on her. She does win the match. For the spare cross lane. And gets 9 out. So 159. And we'll do the math now. So again, 9-pin edge for Santa Ma on the right lane. And a 55-pin edge. So it's 46 was the margin for Chappelle in game 2. 46 was the margin in game 2. So that puts him up, what, 257? Plus 257. And a 13-4 lead, correct?
13-3, right?
Yes.
13-3.
13-3, not 4, yeah.
And with
even
a
number,
with a
13-3.
Yeah, with a significant edge remaining in total right now.
257.
So yeah.
So
yeah, that's a lot to overcome. It's not over, but
well, it's not over. You never say it's over
until you get to 14.
But in order for Santa Ma to win, they will need a virtual miracle here. So
it does put Chappelle in a position to become the 5th team in the last 10 years to score 20 in the championship match. We're going to have some subs here in the final game of the championship. Santa Ma seniors are going to bowl, I believe, for their team. So some switching around the lineups, and Kenny and Lenny are working on that. We'll get you those names and all.
They're going to bowl all seniors. I was told Santa Ma's going to bowl all seniors in game 3. So we're going to have to.
And we'll see what kind of changes Dorothy Himbert makes as well there.
Yeah, Dorothy made 2 changes for game 3 in their semifinal match. So there's a possibility there, but we do know there's wholesale changes for Santa Ma coming in game 3. So we'll try to chase those down for you and get it so that you have the exact numbers. So again, 257 is the margin.
Yeah.
And it's 13-3 Archbishop Chappelle, seemingly on its way to a second consecutive state championship.
If they do bowl the 6 seniors for Santa Ma, there'll be 4 new bowlers, and then the 1 bowler, Tingler, would go to the 5 spot, and Hernandez would drop down a spot to the 6.
Right, that's what we're looking at.
And then it would be Fontenot,
right,
Hebert, Fournette, and Erickson that will come into the lineup
and then
for Santa Ma.
It'll be
Tangler in the 5 spot, Hernandez in the 6 spot, right? So then we'll have to check Chappelle to see what the Chipmunks will do with their lineup here in game 3. Again, this is the first of 3 state championships tomorrow. The boys Division 2 state championship we'll have live for you here at CrescentCitySports.com and the LHSAA network, followed by the boys Division 1 state championship tomorrow. And you'll want to tune in at 1 o'clock tomorrow.
As I mentioned, 4 times since 2016, a team has scored 20 in the championship match, including last year when Chappelle defeated Dutchtown 20-7. Dutchtown defeated Denham Springs in 23 by a 23-4 count. Denham Springs defeated Byrd in 22, 21-6. And then one I had forgotten about, Central of Baton Rouge area, defeated Morgan City 21-6 back in 2016. So here we go, last match for the championship.
Well, we talked about lineup changes, and we also talked about this. There's just 1 senior on the Chappelle team, so while Santa Ma's going to put 6 seniors in, the 1 senior on the Chappelle team's already in the lineup. They are keeping the lineup the same.
So they will keep the lineup the same, all right?
Yeah, because it's Care is back in it. Number one.
That's
so
right.
If there was a change, she'd be sliding down or be out. Yeah.
Correct. Speaking of Care, she releases to start game 3.
And if
couldn't make a better shot than that.
And if you're the rest of the teams in the state, Kenny, you're pretty scared about how young this Chappelle team is.
It's frightening. They lose their senior young, their anchor bowler, but the other 5 are back, right? Hello.
And they're going to just get better, the younger bowlers.
No doubt.
And here's wide. See if Bell can bounce back after a rough second game. She pulled that shot and carries it. Says thank you very much. And Chappelle just trying to finish this off would be the right way to describe it. And a class move by Coach Cangalotti to play his seniors here in Game 3. Absolute class. There's a beautiful cover. Beautiful washout covered by Lanier. Impressive.
That backup ball was perfect for that conversion.
You bet. And again, Coach Cangalotti, you understand what he's doing here. He knows, that the die has been cast, right? He's simply trying to give his seniors a chance to bowl this final game of their careers.
Exactly.
With the Gators, and I'm just so impressed by that.
I appreciate that move.
So do I. Big time. Very impressed with it.
Tingler, who moved over to the 5 spot from the 1 spot, makes that spare to open her last game.
Just good for these young ladies to get this opportunity, regardless of scores.
Exactly.
Nice pitch, just a little bit wide, bucket type of leave.
Yeah,
minus the 5 pin.
Hernandez moving into the 6th spot.
Right, after bowling a really good game in Game 2. 197.
Yeah, 197.
Shaker, mini split, if you will. And today's coverage on Crescent City Sports is brought to you by the Lamarck Motor Company in Kenner. Lamarck Ford, the #1 Ford dealer in the Metro New Orleans market. Must be a reason. Thanks to the Lamarcks for their support of high school sports, Crescent City Sports. We could not do it without them. Nor do we want to. The result will be anticlimactic, but the individuals, it means everything. And there's a beautiful individual shot delivered by Bourdonnais. Solid as a rock, a junior. Again, you're looking at a roster there. Their lineup, 8th grade, freshman, sophomore, junior. So even next year, they've only got 2 seniors, right? So it's what you call a program, Kent.
Yeah.
That's a program. Definition of a program. Shot by Kerr, left the 10 pin.
Yeah.
That's Kendall Fournette bowling in the 3rd spot for Santa Ma this game with the 8 count.
Nice spare by Bell. Very difficult.
Now look, you talk about teams with everybody coming back, guys. Santa Ma's got 4 of their top 5 back. They only lose Hernandez among their top 5 bowlers.
Yeah, as we said at the start, these are 2 young teams. They could very well be back here next year. I mean, very much so. Nice delivery. And the prescribed result for Young.
Santa Ma was the number 3 seed coming into the playoffs and did a good job to hold their seeding, defeating 2 Baton Rouge area teams to get to the semifinals in Dutchtown and Denham Springs. And then had to beat another Baton Rouge area team in Albany to get here.
Well, speaking of seeds, I want to let Lenny talk about that because oftentimes these seeds can be a little misleading.
Well,
Not so much here today, Chappelle.
Well, it is. You're talking about, you've got the 1 and the 3 in the finals, and sometimes it works out that way. But a broken clock is right twice a day, right?
There you go.
Look, we'll see tomorrow in Boys Division 1. You've got the 5, 6, 7, and 16 seeds that have made it to the semifinals.
That was my point that I was getting to.
Yeah,
yes.
Here you had 3 of the top 4 that got through.
I believe the seeds have consistently held better on the girls' side than the boys' side because there are some, I guess the word is false seedings because of the way the power rankings happen in other parts of the state and who the teams bowl and that type of thing.
Well, the wins and losses are doing it, and let's face it, frankly, there are a region or two that are simply not as good as other regions, and that's what we're seeing.
Well, this is a sport that is dominated by Southeast Louisiana.
Correct.
You've got 4 regions in this part: Baton Rouge, Hammond, New Orleans, and even Houma. You can lump them into there because they've had bowlers that have gotten through to this point. But it really comes from the first 3 of those from Baton Rouge, Hammond, New Orleans.
Yeah.
And they've produced what I think the last 11 girls state champions, those 3 regions. Yeah, 11, and it's about to be 12.
And since I won't be here tomorrow with you, the one thing I will say is that the power rankings are a good thing. They were a good thing when they were brought in, but it needs a little bit of a tweak to figure out some of these average deficiencies and things like that. And I'll be honest with you, I think in Division I, you could almost make the bracket 20 teams because there's some very good teams that got left out of the boys' playoffs in Division I this year.
Especially in the New Orleans area.
And look, that's something that's actually been in some conversations about what to recommend to the LHSAA. Because let's take this, when you look at other sports, like the ones, the ones that are part of the select, non-select split, those 5, football, boys and girls basketball, baseball, softball. On average, about 2/3 of the teams make the playoffs in those sports. Okay? In bowling, we're not even to half. There's about 45 schools on either side of the divisions on the boys' side, and there's about 40 girls right now that are competing on a regular basis. And you're sending 16 teams. That's 45% of your teams that are going to the playoffs. And there needs to be a greater representation. And look, it's achievable based on the structure right now. Could you go to, say, a 20-team girls bracket and 2 24-team boys brackets? It wouldn't, you'd have to bowl 3 matches in a day instead of 2, and you'd have some buys in there for the top teams, which is great to give them a little bit of an advantage to be able to do that.
Well, there used to be some buys in the thing in the days when it was a bi-regional and you bowled in your city and that type of thing.
Right.
I think even if you went to just a couple of play-in matches to get to your final 16. I think that would be a step in the right direction. Fun to watch some of these senior members of Santa Ma's team throw the ball here and watch them get some championship action. And to see Coach Cagnalotti respond when they do well is very nice indeed.
Nice strike by Bell, nice strike by Hernandez on the high pair. 1 for each side. We're in the 4th frame of Game 3. Of the girls LHSAA State Championship here on Crescent City Sports and the LHSAA Network. Ken Trahan with Lenny Van Gilder and Kent Lowe. Salute to Matt and Todd taking care of business for us today. And a salute to Jeff Schneider as well. Big 4 split, that's ugly on lane 26.
Lenny, I am really looking forward to the singles Friday. We've seen the top 3 averages compete today in the girls. There are so many good boys that could make the top 6 and make that qualifying cut on Friday. I think the singles championship is going to be very special indeed.
Well, and look, the bowling keeps getting better and better at this state. It's one of the things that Rick Bourgeois and I were talking about it. Before we go any further, let's congratulate Rick, the first representative of the sport of bowling to be inducted in the LHSA Hall of Fame. That will come later this month. Right back here up in the Baton Rouge area at the Crown Plaza. It's a week from Monday night. Our former colleague at Crescent City Sports and Ked's lifelong friend Ed Daniels also a part of that class as well. It's going to be a terrific night. But if anyone deserved to be the first person to come out of this sport to be a part of the Hall of Fame, there was no doubt it needed to be Rick, because he has shepherded this cause from the beginning, volunteering his time along the way to do that. But to get back to what I was talking about with Rick, we're going back kind of looking at history a little bit. What has been the cut number and how it's accelerated over the years, and it's gone up now more than 10 pins since we've gone to this dedicated singles format. It took right at a 190 average or 189 average to get in on the boys' side this year. 150 was 48th place on the girls' side. So the sport continues to get better and better. One thing about girls bowling as opposed to boys bowling, women's bowling is an NCAA sport, so there's opportunities out there. We saw Caroline Angeron from Albany in the semifinals. She's headed to Sam Houston State, one of the top programs in America. A year ago, we had Olivia Barres bowling 6 for Archbishop Chappelle. She's now at Louisiana Tech. Ava Doucette, you mentioned, is going to UAB. Her teammate Molly Milligan is headed to Emmanuel. So there are a lot of, and look, you've got a lot of non-seniors bowling here. We could see any number of the people that are bowling in this match when they get to be seniors have the chance to go on and bowl in college.
I think you're right about that, and I think it has made a difference for a lot of these girls from NCAA coaches to be here, and a lot of good teams in the South with the Conference USA Bowling League, including Tulane and Louisiana Tech.
If you think the SEC is good in sports, folks, go check out what Conference USA is in bowling.
Yeah.
That good.
That good. I mean, we're talking, at one point this year, they had 10 of the top 11 teams in the country.
By the way, watching Hill on 24, I can only chuckle. I can only imagine how she's feeling. Look at her. She made a ball switch. Remember, she hit the pocket in 10 straight frames last game and bowled a 159. She made a ball switch here. She's ripped the 10 pin and just left a solid 4. So even with the ball change and the adjustment, she's still not carrying, and all she could do is kind of chuckle when she made the spare, man. So we talk about adjustments. There's foot adjustment, in terms of where you line up on the lane. There's speed adjustment, and then there's ball change. Well, she made the ball change. She's still hitting the pocket. It's still not striking.
I think this day and age with just the volume of different equipment out there, and you see, I'm looking over to my right at the Chappelle equipment, in front of their pit, and there's probably a good 12 to 15 3-ball bags over here. They're coming in with half a dozen bowling balls, okay? I remember coming in with 2, Kent.
2, man.
2. A strike ball and a spare ball. That was it.
And then I got to 3.
You got to 3, and then you destroyed your shoulder.
When's the equipment truck arrived to take it all back to New Orleans?
Messed up a shoulder, tore up a wrist, and I stunked, and that was it. A shadow of the man I used to be. I don't know. My younger brother threw the ball better than I did.
My bowling team has accused me of that a couple of times this year.
Lenny and I were, the last time we bowled in a league where we shut it down, they probably disliked us more than anybody because we had the most laid back, I don't know, what's the right word, Christian team, whatever. Nobody drank, we didn't spend any money.
Nobody drank.
The waitress would come by.
Yeah, there was not much of a bar tab at the end of the night, was there? No.
Which, by the way, was a far cry from my younger bowling days. But that's another story for another day. And the statute of limitations ran out.
There you go.
So, we're in the 6th frame and taking a look at scores right now. Chappelle's up on the low pair in all 3 matches. And on the high pair, Chappelle's up in 1 of 3. Somebody's leading 2.
Let's talk this through a second. I mean, a lot has to happen, obviously, in the future, but if anybody is going to challenge the 2005-2008 girls from Denham Springs who won the first 4 championships.
Chappelle is positioning themselves to do that.
This is a team that could do it. They could win 4 in a row.
Well, let's look at it this way, okay? First of all, you're only losing 1 senior, so you've almost automatically got to make them the favorites again next year, which would put them in a position to three-peat, which obviously that was something Dutchtown had a chance to do last year. Not lost the match in 3 years, and Chappelle dethroned them in this very spot a year ago. And, they've kept it going.
They have. And let's not forget, Chappelle did win a state championship in 2021.
2021,
so
right here. Look, they were a
third.
semifinalist in 23. They were a quarterfinalist in 22. They were going to be the number 1 seed had we had a state championship in 2020 when it got shut down. Remember, 2020, as COVID hit and shut down all of the spring championships, the last, the bowling regular season was done. The bracket was going to be announced the Monday after we shut down COVID over that weekend. We finished the basketball championships on a Saturday with no one in the Burton Coliseum other than players and officials and a TV crew. That was it. Another media, and Chappelle might have, they were going to be the number 1 seed that year. So when all of that happened, you might be talking about 4 and 7 years at this point.
And there's only been, besides the Denham Springs first 4 championships, Lafayette is the only one that's won 3 over that time, not in a row, but they won in 9,
10, and 12.
10, and 12. Yeah, they got beat in 11 in the finals, or they could have had 4.
Yeah, they were involved with the most dramatic final. We've had some great ones along the way, obviously. The first one we did, 2019, Academy of Our Lady, went back-to-back at that point. They beat Central 14.5 to 12.5 as an 8 seed that year. That's the highest seed that's ever won. Really, Denham Springs won it as a 6, and other than that, it's been a 1 and a 2 seed every year. Chappelle won as a 2 seed last year, as a 2 seed in 21, and as the 1 seed this year. We're 5 frames away from crowning them.
Absolutely. Nice spare. Pioneer, she's going to be a big part of their future for the Chipmunks. Just great to see the way this sport is growing.
By the way, we're talking about tipping a hat. We need to do as well to the athletic director, longtime athletic director at Archbishop Chappelle, Dale LaCour, who's going to retire at the in this year.
She finally kicked out a 10-pin. She finally kicked out a 10-pin.
Yeah, finally. But and look, she shows the emotion. You're right. She shows probably more emotion than anybody on this team. But Dale mentioned to me had a chance to go over to Chappelle last month when Mrs. Benson made the significant donation to their to construction of their new facility over there, and he'd like nothing more than to be able to go out with a couple of championships. Obviously, they're outstanding in softball. We saw them a couple of weeks ago in Crescent City Sports, a tough loss to Mount Carmel, but he's on the way to getting one of those right here.
Yep, very much so. Mike Kreitzer here today. Great to see him, and just good people at Archbishop Chappelle. Great institution, many years, and there's a nice shot. Their brother school, both created at the same time, will be bowling tomorrow in Archbishop Roman. And the brother-sister tie there, Brent Kerr and Blake.
We've had brothers and sisters win at different times. We've had brothers and sisters win at different times. I'm not sure it's ever happened in the same year, though.
We had husband and wife.
We've had husband and wives
a few times.
Yep.
Right. We've had. Come on, help me out here. Belchase and Shaw. We had. Come on.
Well, obviously you had the Vidros family.
Vidros family
dominates the West Bank.
That's right. Yeah. So you have the Hemberts, right?
Yeah. A lot of family ties in this sport. Look, it's a family sport,
right?
We talk about families, and Darren Cagnolotti, who's coaching from behind us. I've not seen that, by the way, but he wants a view of all 4 lanes, standing in the back behind us. His daughter Cadence won 2 singles titles.
Yeah.
His son Chase is a senior this year, so he's had a chance to coach both of them. That's a lot of what tends to draw people to this sport as coaches sometimes, is the chance to be able to to coach their sons and their daughters. One of the first people that Bruce Himbert coached at Brother Martin was his son Blaze.
Yep.
And he stuck with it.
Yeah, oftentimes they depart after that, but that's not the case with Bruce at all. They're devoted to the sport in a huge way. So
let me say this. A lot of people here today who bowl here, who live in the Gonzales area, who came out to root on Santa Ma today, and I know they're proud of what this team did this year. And as we talked about the seedings earlier, they held up pretty well for Santa Ma and had to beat a lot of teams that they were very familiar with in Dutchtown and Denham Springs.
And that's hard to do.
It is hard to do. It's very difficult.
To get to this championship, and one of their regular season wins was very early in the season, the first match.
Yeah.
They beat St. Joseph's by 110 total to win a match 16-11 that would have gone the other way. So that kind of kick-started them down the road. So the Santa Ma team needs to be congratulated as well for an outstanding season.
Yeah, they really are. I think it's a tremendous accomplishment. The coach has done a fantastic job. These young ladies have distinguished themselves in tremendous fashion. I think it just illustrates that one team was just they were just clearly better than everyone else. Too
dominant, and the start was too much to overcome.
Yeah. But they were that team all year long. So there was nobody that approximately came close to what they had scored.
This is nothing new. Yeah. This is nothing new. This is what they've done to teams throughout the season. Look, we're talking about good stories. But let's tip of the hat to one of the seniors that entered here in the last game for Santa Ma, Kendall Forney. She's going to be the valedictorian of her class this year.
That's awesome.
And look, we see a lot of it. There's a lot of outstanding scholar athletes in a number of sports, particularly bowling. We may see Beckham Lou from Patrick Taylor. We might see him in the finals tomorrow in Division II. He's a national merit finalist. We talked about Bryn Kerr's older brother Blake, who may have a chance to bowl for a title tomorrow, and he's a 4.0 student, got a chance maybe to be either valedictorian or salutatorian of his class at Rummel. So it's you got this is a game you can be brains play well sometimes in this game. It teaches you to be able to make adjustments, and sometimes you can you could be not so smart and decide to go work in the sports field like the three of us, and and still you get it done just the same. Good finish here by Taylor Bourdonnais, who's going to win her match at 4, doubling in a 10th. And we'll see a lot of these girls back on Friday in singles. May even see some of them in the finals.
True. I wouldn't bet against a young lady from St. Joseph's, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. She's been on her game in the playoffs.
Well, look at Bryn Kerr throwing a double, and you might hear the other one behind us making a little bit of noise there. He tends to do that, right? So you'll hear that tomorrow. Or at least you would think you would if he performs well. Nice shot there. So, nice bounce back by Bell after scuffing a bit in game 2.
Yeah.
And a 179 for Kerr. Not bad for an 8th grader, right? Lenny's going to do all the math here and give you the final numbers coming up. And he's also going to have some fun talking to some winners here.
Yes.
We'll get him properly equipped. The man of many microphones. You're holding two
Well,
of them at the
we're
same
gonna let
time.
we're gonna let the awards presentation happen first.
Yes.
And then we will get some interviews with winners.
That is correct. That's the protocol. Still to come. Hardware, celebration, interviews, story. And we're out, but only for a day, as we're back tomorrow with the Boys Championships, Division II and Division I. And a chance for a couple of repeats there. Archbishop Shaw and Brother Martin, both in the semifinals, who were state champions a year ago. They have a legitimate chance, but the opposition will be tough. 8 good teams here tomorrow. 195 for Bell. And now she's laughing now. She carried a double finally, Hills. She's hit the pocket more than anybody here today, and she hasn't scored. And she just got a double, and she threw her arms up. So now I carry, right? Let's see if she can take it off the sheet. The way she's throwing the ball, she probably will. Or better yet, watch her leave an 8-pin or a 7-pin. She's on lane 23 right now.
A nice finish for Alex Young, converting the washout on 25. She won't win her match. Tough go of it the last game, but look, that's one thing. And you see, when you've got matches clinched a lot of times, it's hard to go out there and finish game 3 when really there's nothing to bowl for sometimes.
Yeah. Yep.
And you see the scores on that. Bourdonnais 548, Bell 572, Young 561. There's 1681 on the right side for Chappelle.
So Lenny, let's see what the final tally is here. That was a 5-1 game, right? So a 7-1, which would be 23-4, right? I believe that's right. 23-4, correct? There we go. Yeah, 23-4 is the final. Chappelle has won the girls' LHSAA State Bowling Championship in 2026, repeating as state champion. The two sides exchanging handshakes. Great sportsmanship all around. 2 class institutions. Big salute to Santa Ma. What a season for the Gators.
Yep.
Nothing but congratulations to that wonderful school and program. And, of course, the largest part of the congratulatory message goes to Archbishop Chappelle.
And that equals the biggest win since 2023 when Dutchtown defeated Denham Springs by 23-4.
We'll listen in for the awards presentations now.
Okay.
Michael Federico is a Michael commissioner, and he helps LHSA run the sport of bowling, and I want to give him a big hand, please, everybody, for that really good job. All right, first thing we're going to give out, the young lady did very well. She averaged over 190-something over her 6 games. I think the first game in the finals with her 230 was set the pace for the team. Now she is the only one who won't be returning as a letterman, and I want to congratulate the one senior on the team, Alexandra Young.
So Alex Young is your MVP. As Rick Bourgeois said, the only senior on this team.
Now, right now, for our runner-ups today, a local team out of the Gonzales area, the Santa Monica Gators.
Santa Ma reaching the state championship for the first time in their history.
Once we finish the presentation, y'all will have time to take family photos and other things during the ends of the facilities.
Get the official photo of our state runners-up. And then we will hand out the gold hardware. For the second year in a row, it will head back to Veterans Boulevard in Metairie.
All right, and the next thing, remember, ladies, next year y'all will be the two-time defending champs. We want to congratulate second year in a row the Chipmunks from Much Business to Town.
32-0 over the last 2 seasons, Kent. They have been the dominant team in Louisiana in 2025 and 2026. And now, a 2-time back-to-back state champion.
And as we mentioned many times, very young team that could well be back here again next year.
No doubt. No question about it, with 5 returning starters. I'm going to hop off and hand this back to Ken Trahan, and we'll get some interviews.
A big day for Archbishop Chappelle as they win 23-4, second consecutive state championship, and a day when they were just dominant from the start, and it was the start that got them going and pretty much put this thing rolling on its way.
Well, they were just too good. I mean, there's no other way to put it.
Yeah.
They were the heavy favorite coming in, and we mentioned it. 98-pin difference in the averages. That's massive. And the only way it wouldn't have worked out is if they had not bowled well. The other side bowled better. It didn't quite happen that way. Let's check in with Lenny Van Gilder with winning head coach Dorothy Hembert. Lenny?
We're getting Lenny's mic turned on there, so there we go.
All right, we'll try this again. The target has been there since you walked out of this building a year ago. And you know that. But your young ladies delivered every step of the way, another 16-0 season.
I contribute all of this to that. If it wasn't for those girls, we wouldn't be sitting here.
When did you know you had something special once again with this group of young ladies? As obviously they improved, you had other people come on the roster, people had to move into different spots in the lineup because you did lose your 5 and 6 from a year ago.
They work hard. They work hard on their runs. They go to the summer practice. One person really has to congratulate students. Just like all these girls do.
I can second that. All right, let's get a couple of these young ladies in here to talk about this. Alex, Taylor, let's bring y'all up. Come on. All right, we talked about this. Alex, I'll start with you. You moved into that 6th spot this year. That's a lot to take on after you lost 2 very good seniors from a year ago. How important was it for you to be able to lead as the only senior in the 6th spot?
Well, I don't know. It was very important, I think.
But setting the tone today, you come out in that championship match and, a big first game, 2:30, to kind of set the tone for how this match was going to go. Just talk about, what was going through your head in that first game.
Just do my best. That was all that was going through. And if I didn't do my best, then I knew my team was going to help me through it if I didn't. So.
And this has been a solid right side all year long. You and Addison, Taylor in the 4th spot. Just talk similarly about what it was for this team to be able to come together. Obviously, you had the target on your back from winning last year, but you had to, replace 2 bowlers in the lineup, and how this team just came together to repeat.
It honestly, I think it came, very natural to us. We immediately all clicked, and it was I mean, I've been doing this with Addie like since 8th grade, and she's been like, I've loved watching her, and like, it's just been like a great experience.
Well, now you're a two-time state champion. The target will still be there in 2027 with only one senior in this lineup. The two-time defending state champions now from Archbishop Chappelle. Ken, back to you.
All right, Lenny, thank you. I will take it here. Tremendous afternoon for Archbishop Chappelle. And does it start, Ken Trahan, the week of New Orleans winners? Because while there are some Baton Rouge teams and a team from Houma involved tomorrow, it's possible that it could be a New Orleans sweep by the time it's all over tomorrow.
Well, that possibility exists, but I'm quite sure that teams from East Ascension and Dutchtown will have something to say about that. Meanwhile, on the Division II side, I'm quite sure that there's a couple of really good teams that have a chance to say something about that.
Yeah,
but to your point, Patrick Taylor's really good.
Yeah.
Their numbers are off the charts, and Archbishop Shaw is dynamite. They were the champion last year. They're really good again this year. They're West Bank rivals. They've seen each other before. It could end up being the championship match, but we'll see. On the boys' side, Brother Martin's the highest average team, and they're the defending champion, but Archbishop Rummel defeated them in the regular season, and they're very good. And they're a senior-laden team, but both of them are going to have to beat teams that bowl in this home house that are very good.
And there's a Baton Rouge story of Episcopal High School in Division II, a first-year program.
The Knights?
The wide receiver coach who is one of the top bowlers in the state, becomes the coach. They go 14-0. So in Division II in Baton Rouge, that's a big-time story, and a lot of people will be pulling for them tomorrow here in the Division II playoffs.
Without a doubt. Lenny, interesting dynamic here today.
There's some great storylines tomorrow. We'll be following it starting at 9:30. Of course, semifinals going on here. We'll have coverage of the finals starting at 1:30.
1:30 Division II, boys Division I after that. About 3:35 or so. We're really thrilled to be able to bring it to you, not just on CrescentCitySports.com, where we've done this for the last several years, but adding the component of the LHSA network. So we'd like to thank the Schneiders for their support. We'd like to thank Matt and Tom for a job well done here today as well. Lenny, Kent, it's been a blast, guys.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks for joining us. Remember to stay with Crescent City Sports as we'll have coverage of the boys co-ed finals tomorrow. Our coverage begins at 1:30 with the Division II final match. For our Crescent City Sports production team, for Kent Lowe, for Lenny Van Gilder, I'm Ken Trahan. Saying so long from Gonzales, where Archbishop Chappelle is the 2026 LHSAA Girls State Champion. Thanks for joining us. Be a good sport, and God bless you one and all. We're rounding third and heading home. So long.